This past winter, in fact, it was over Christmas break, a Notre Dame law adjunct professor and two law students got the opportunity to volunteer in Texas with women and children seeking asylum in the United States as part of the Daily Pro Bono project. Rudy Monterrosa and a couple of his students had the opportunity to go there, and one of those students joins us as well. He's Rolando Rengifo, here to talk about the experience. Adjunct professor. Monterrosa, thanks for being with us. We appreciate your time. So this project, this pro bono project, how did it start, and what specifically has been your involvement with this project?
With the Notre Dame Law School, we teach a course on immigration, and in that class, we would talk about the issues happening in the news at the beginning of every course. And one of the issues that was particularly moving was what was happening at the border. And the Daily Pro Bono project was created by 3 immigration advocacy groups in order to address the issue that when one comes into the United States, you're entitled to have an attorney represent you during the asylum process, but not entitled to have one appointed. And that's where the Daily Pro Bono project came in. I, along with my wife, organized a group of students to be able to go, and we went over and volunteered during the Christmas holiday.
Rolando, what was it like to be there?
Incredible. That's an easy way to describe it, but really when we got there, we got to see a lot of women and children who really had fought their way to the States and wanted to make a change for their lives. So seeing the resilience of these families was absolutely incredible.
So you get on the ground, you get a lay of the land, so to speak, both literally and figuratively. What kind of assistance were you asked to do? What were you able to do right away?
So the Daily Pro Bono project is recruiting volunteers throughout the country on a weekly basis. So they have people that come down there, everybody from law students to lawyers that practice immigration law or that don't even practice immigration law, as well as undergraduate students that might be able to interpret for the families. So the purpose of the project is to be able to explain to these women and children, or particularly the mothers, the asylum process, so that they know what happens when they get there, what happens if they're released, and finally, what is it that happens if they're actually allowed to be able to stay in the country. Where they're not done, they still need to be able to present their case before a judge. But what the Daily Pro Bono project does a really great job of is informing these women of what their rights are, and that in itself, for these women and children, is empowering.
I would imagine you would be honored to be a part of this project. Really not a lot of lawsuits have an opportunity to participate in something like this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really hard to find a place that really trusts their students to go out and make a difference and be impactful in that way. We got a chance to work one-on-one with the clients, help them prepare for their credible fear interviews as they were getting ready to apply for asylum here in the U.S. And it was really empowering to have that opportunity and the trust of our faculty to put us in that situation and have the support from the people that are actually on the ground as staff members.
And this last question for both of you. You have an opportunity to go and see firsthand what's happening. Did you go into it with preconceived notions, and what did you come away with it as far as your view on immigration right now? Specifically the law on immigration.
Right. So I'm actually an immigrant. I came to the States in 2000 as an 11-year-old with my family. My process was very different. It was something that I wanted to learn more about, and I knew and I had known people who had experienced the other side of things, but in my naive notion of how things work, I thought, well, they should come back, and that's just the way it works. But seeing what people actually go through and hearing from them and the reasons behind their motivations to come to the States, it's more than just coming out of poverty. They're here to make a difference in the new community that they join, and that was really nice.
And Rudy, how about you?
There's a key distinction here. These were not immigrants. These were people that were seeking asylum. And so they're seeking to be able to prove that they fear persecution if they return to their country. At the law school, we teach about, we're trying to train our students to become a different kind of lawyer. That means being compassionate and looking for the unfortunate, and that's what we do.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate your time and your insight and your experience. Thanks so much.